Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All that stuff we didn't get to during the course of the show today, including something that, Gavin, maybe you have heard about this. I don't know.
Okay.
Because you're more the sports guy / AKA the soccer fan, the football fan.
I do love that sport.
Do you follow professional soccer like avidly or
not as avidly as I follow like more Americanized sports? Like
Okay.
I'll follow like Major League Soccer here, and then I'll do a little bit here and there of like the European stuff. But everything they do is like super early in the morning, and then at the same time, I feel like a stereotypical American is like, it's not my country. I don't care quite as much.
Well, the London police actually charged a soccer fan, a football fan, for wearing an offensive jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, it seems like...
I haven't heard about this.
Yeah, okay. That seems really interesting that... Because soccer has hooligans, which are the club people that love their club so much, and they go out and they start fights, and you think it's all like 20-something-year-old kids. Sometimes it's old guys, too, man.
Well, because those guys are just like so rude. Like those English towns where all they have in that town is that
soccer.
Little football team that they have. Like that's their life for a lot of those people.
Yeah, it's like Ted Lasso was based on kind of that. Welcome to Wrexham is a real life version of that with what's his name that we all like so much?
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yes, I couldn't think of it.
I didn't
that's
know.
good.
Oh yeah, we all like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, we all. Yeah.
we
Make us look better. Come
love
on.
him.
Yeah, we love Ryan Reynolds. He's great.
I know you and Gavin do.
But yeah, and it's weird because like the concept of Ted Lasso, the show is a football or a American football coach goes over and is coaching soccer, knows nothing about it, and it's a comedy and stuff. But in soccer, I guess you are in leagues and you can be demoted to lower leagues. It'd be like if all of a sudden the Dallas Cowboys got sent to arena football.
Oh, it'd be embarrassing.
Yeah,
and that's what it is for a lot of those teams. That was kind of a recent story with the Wrexham football club.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that they got to the next level, which is still like 4 or 5 levels below the highest level of.
But they got
Premier
promoted.
League. Yeah, which is huge.
Like, that was their goal. And so Ryan Reynolds buys this team with a buddy of his, and they are running it. Yeah. And it's a documentary, which I find interesting. But, yeah, they got promoted, and it's good. They didn't think they were going to. They lost
it's been
a bunch.
successful.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, this guy, he gets arrested, and the only thing on his shirt that got him arrested was it was the number 97 on the back, and then it just said the words "not enough." And you're like, how did that get him arrested? Well, you have to know the history of this. 97 fans died at a Liverpool soccer match, and so this guy writing 97 and not enough because he hated that team.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but again, it's like they're taking it a step further. It's not just offensive. Like, they arrested this guy.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Which is kind of crazy too. But I mean, think of all the things that we put on shirts that are offensive. Think of all of the the "Let's Go Brandon" stuff or whatever. Like, people that are even more overt than that with different presidents that we've had over the years and stuff. And we pride ourselves on freedom of speech. And you could make the case that that's in hugely poor taste.
Absolutely.
But it's still freedom of speech. But I guess what they look at with that one, it's not so much as it's offensive as it could incite riots. Because people die at soccer matches. That's what's crazy.
Yeah, you've got these like people who are like pressing really hard up against like these fences or these walls that are, holding the crowd back from the stadium, and you've just got people that get smushed up against them.
That's what happened in Liverpool. But then there are also times where they've had actual fights, and they've had to escort teams off of the field to save them. Like I remember the one where the guy went after one of the players, came down on the field, went after a player. Another one, the ref had to jump and leave, and people had to save the ref. Like, the teams went after him. It's crazy.
For somebody who doesn't understand why somebody's into sports, I don't understand why somebody is that into sports.
Right.
That you're willing to put your body on the line,
commit a crime,
do something like that. It's just so unworth it and so dumb.
There's nothing I'm that into.
No,
honestly, I'd be hard pressed to find something I love that much that I have devoted my whole life outside of faith.
Okay.
I know, like that. Set that aside, but like something that's not as important. Like you set your whole life aside for it, and you are willing to get into a fight with somebody over a soccer match.
Yeah,
it's
and
crazy.
Somehow sports will do that to you.
It does, man, honestly. The only other thing that will do that to you is your kids.
Sure.
Like your kids,
And then
protecting your
kid's
kids.
sports game.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my gosh.
And then you slightly do understand why parents get really weird at their kids' games.
Well, we talked about this on the show, I think yesterday maybe, was like that thing you would never do again. And one of those things we talked about was refereeing a game.
Oh, did you do that one time?
Yeah. No, I would never do that.
Oh, okay.
There's no way. Because I'd like to do it, like to make all the calls and everything and stuff like that, and to be a good ref, but it doesn't matter how good you are, someone is going to hate you that day, and they're going to be very vocal about it. And it's not worth it for pee-wee baseball or soccer or football.
No.
I mean, again, like they get into fights, and then what are you teaching your kids about sportsmanship when you have parents throwing fists like on a sideline over a call? It's lunacy to me. But like when a kid gets hurt, like I remember this. My daughter got pushed down hard by some kid, and she's not athletic. She still isn't to this day. Yay, sports. And I about came out of my skin, and I was furious. But like that's that other thing that you will defend to the death, for your kids. So, Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, anyone who works for Martha Stewart, Gavin and I know exactly how you feel. Martha Stewart, she's known as an old school slave driver in that she will expect you to be available 24/7 if you work for her.
If you have a job and you work for her, then you're supposed to be at her call for whenever creativity or whatever strikes. I get it.
Well, she said that she recently had to call an employee of hers on a Sunday, and the guy answered the phone, but he did say, "Hey, I can't talk right now. I'm taking a bath."
Okay, that's your first sign. You got a guy taking a bath in the middle of the day.
You got to have a better excuse than that. Also, don't say that out loud.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Well, she says that, quote, once she heard that, I knew I couldn't work with that person.
Absolutely.
I just couldn't. So
Absolutely.
I don't know. But do you have a legal right to fire someone because they were taking a bath on a weekend?
Yeah, not on work time. I don't know. I think you have to.
I doubt it.
I think it gets gray area where you're like, they just weren't working out. No, you have to make up something. You have to be like, yeah, we didn't like their attitude at work, but you know why you're getting rid of them.
Well, I think a lot of people, once COVID happened, we realized that work is not life. Most of us
Some
realize
people realize that.
Others
Fools.
will live and die at their desks.
We were at a conference. Okay, we're at this radio conference last week. We talked about this, and one of the speakers was talking about how his calendar had gotten all out of whack, and he realized, okay, this is where I'm my most productive, so I'm only going to work in these hours, and like everything else is off limits. And he puts up a QR code on the screen, and he's like, if you want to see how I do my calendar, take a picture of this QR code, to have a better work-life balance. And I see everybody just picking their phones up and taking pictures, Betty Rock included. Everyone's taking pictures. And I just leaned over and I go, you know what I see in this room? Just a group of lazy people holding their phones up, because they all want, I don't want to work anymore.
No, but I think, Gavin, you would agree with me, even if you don't say it out loud. The most stressed person in this room is probably you, Wally.
Probably, yeah.
But
I have a lot riding on my shoulders.
But Gavin and I have learned how to work out a personal life and a work life balance.
Yeah.
And we do it really well.
And you've drugged me kicking and screaming into that balance.
No, we're trying to help you.
No.
Because you shouldn't be answering emails 8:00 at night. There's no reason for that, though. You have to have boundaries.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy is you are so good at setting boundaries with people, but when it comes to your work, you don't have any.
Everything.
Well,
anything and everything.
When Gavin took the job, I'm like, it was an expectation. When I call you, I don't care when it is, you pick up, or when I text you, you answer me. I don't care. Now, if you're at a movie or something, or you're at a funeral, fine. But fine, I'll deal with it. Let me know.
One of those.
Just let me know. Hey, I'm at a funeral. I'll hit you back in 10 when I can get out of here.
No, because isn't that poor planning on your part?
No, because creativity just doesn't.
It can't wait.
Or if I'm working on something and I need another piece of information so that I can continue to work.
Poor leadership.
No, but you
didn't think ahead.
You do know when to call. Like if it's the end all be all, you do make the call. You don't make very petty calls. To me, at least. I don't know about you.
Well,
I don't.
And I will also say that Wally has done great about respecting the boundaries because I have said in the past, probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I said, okay, I'm going to go do the rest of my work from home.
Right.
I'm available. If you need to call me, text me, do it. But after 1 p.m., you're dead to me.
Right, yeah, because she takes a nap.
Yeah.
Princess needs a nap.
Put a little silencer on it.
And I need a nap.
Well, okay,
I need a snack and a nap.
Okay, so here's the deal, too.
And
Betty
you
Rock
too.
puts her phone on Do Not... This used to drive me crazy. I've learned that you need this, and so I acquiesce to this. But she puts her phone on Do Not Disturb, which means because I'm in her favorites, if I call her... and it doesn't, and it goes to voicemail or whatever. If I call her again, then it will alert her.
Yep.
But I have learned that unless it is a really, really, really important thing, I do not bother you on the second one if you don't pick up.
Like you better be on fire.
I know.
Or dying.
Or okay, at the same conference, I hit her up early in the morning one day, but it was for her own good, and because we had a note about how we had to check out of the hotel, and I knew she probably was still sleeping because she had a little bit later to go. But it was important information that I knew she wasn't going to check her email. And so I broke the rule.
It was very helpful. And the text message was very helpful because then I could read it at my own time that worked for me, and I could still get the information.
And within that space, there is a time for emails, a time for texts, and a time for phone calls, because email is like your least important, get to it now. A text is like, hey, I do want you to see this as soon as possible, but it's not like I need you to do it this minute. The phone call is when it's like information that is need to know at that moment.
It's interesting you see it that way, though, too. Like phone call is definitely this is now.
And I'm not saying from an importance, I'm just saying from a timing standpoint.
But other people, too, they look at like text. If you talk to Zach, who used to do your job, like he views a text as not that important. And to me, I'm like, text is more immediate than email because the text is something you have in your pocket.
I will
usually.
Look at that.
Yeah, like emails.
Not everyone has on their phone.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't have my work email on my phone.
And two, you're not afraid to look desperate, clingy when it comes to text messages.
No, not at all. Why would I? Why would I care?
When someone you hadn't heard from in years texts you, they're like, "Hey, man, how you doing?"
Yeah,
you will text right then,
right
and there.
away, right back. Yeah, that's what I do.
Like, no, you need to play a little hard to get.
No.
You need to
have the response time of a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah, I do. I really do. Yeah, I do.
That's the best response.
I wake up like each day, or like each time I go to my phone. If I look at my phone, I'm looking at texts. I'm like, hey, what fun thing is happening? What are someone not in the morning when I first wake up, because a text in the morning from either one of you is always bad news. But like now my phone's going off right now.
And he's checking it.
Let's see what's going on.
Who is it? Who is it? Gregor Bear? Is it?
No, it's from
Verizon.
It's Marty and our friends.
Group chats.
Oh, no way. They're letting me know that Chili's just closed.
Chili's closed?
In Franklin.
No.
The one near the church?
That's the one that we usually
nasty.
go to.
How does that even, how can that run out of business? There's like no restaurants over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, I don't know that.
Yeah, so they're letting me know that.
that one over there is nasty.
So I guess we won't be going there for
drive
Sunday.
all the way up here to the one we do
and
have.
That couldn't wait just a little bit longer.
But again, like there is a respecting of space these days. Like I didn't hear a single peep from either of you while I was like when I was in Hawaii. Like I didn't hear a single word from you. Yeah. And like you guys were off doing something where it's like you were at a conference where you didn't need me.
I tried to take a page from Betty. Like you're basically networking too, and so I'm in like a ton of conversations and my phone is going off like all the time in these conversations, and I didn't pull it out during any of them.
Polite.
But then I felt bad because I knew there were times you were texting me and you're like, hey, where are you?
That's okay.
Are we going to go to this thing?
No, I figured it out on my own. Like there were a lot of things where if you didn't answer me, I just went ahead and I just did what I needed to do. It wasn't a big deal.
That's so interesting because I'm like, I would be like, why is she not answering me?
Do you hear yourself?
I don't see anything. No, I see disloyalty, like Martha Stewart.
Okay, wow.
All the years you've been with me, 16 years, was almost completely undone by not reading that one text when I needed you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're on that kind of a level.
Yeah, we were talking about Martha.
We're not.
It's that tenuous.
No. No.
But she called the guy and he was taking a bath. I mean, it's Sunday.
Like the world doesn't revolve around you, Martha.
Well, the thing is about this job though. This job is not like a 9 to 5 job, because there are things like Gavin will be editing something late in the afternoon, and then I need information from him so that I can build the thing I'm going to build, so that I don't get to it till 6 o'clock at night and stuff, and then something else will come up and I might need something else, like I need a graphic for this, and so I got to hit him up, and that's just the way it is. Yep. We've both learned to leave you alone, and I think you carved out a perfect world there.
Okay, that's all that matters, really.
You have a safe space from like 1 to 8. I have a less safe space.
Yes, you do. Yeah, Gavin has a way less safe space,
which is fine.
And it's kind of how we raise our daughters and our sons differently too. Like I had this conversation with my daughter's boyfriend's dad, and he is, I know, but he is very he has all boys, and he's like, yep, you're done, you're off the payroll, get it done, and I'm like, I'm still weaning Hailee off.
I feel like you were deprived of a different type of parenting by not having a son as well. In a weird way, I wish you had like 2 kids. I wish you had a daughter and a son, just so we could see exactly how different.
Completely different rules. Yeah. Completely.
They would have hated
rules.
each other.
Probably. Maybe. Hailee still would have been
know
the
where the
princess.
son is right now.
No, we'd be estranged. Because I would have made him get a job at like 8.
Did your parents treat your sisters and your brother, you and your brother?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you and your brother probably like worked like for and with your dad.
Absolutely.
Very quickly at a young age. Did your sisters have anything?
They worked. They all had to work and have jobs. Like we all have good work ethics. Everyone in my family does. And that was just ingrained in us. But we had different rules. And my dad, I remember my mom talking, my dad was telling me the story, and my mom was asking him, like, what is he thinking? And he was like, look, there's things you just don't want to know, about your son. Just don't worry about it, Yep. And with a daughter, like that would never fly. Like with Hailee today, I still want to know everything that's going on in her life. With my son, I'd be like, all right, well, you're not in jail, are you? When you call, like, we're good, right?
See you at Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't afford to get home. Oh, well, figure it out.
I literally would be like that. I'd be like, oh, that's a bummer, man. I would have liked to have seen you, but you'll work it out. Like, why don't you drive for Uber or something? My daughter, I'd be like, do you need a first class ticket? Because are you stressed?
Get you.
Daddy!
Yeah, exactly.
And Marty would have been like, no, Wally, that's your son. You need to pay for things.
No, would not have. I wasn't even going to pay for Hailee's college, and Marty happened.
Oh, sure.
I wasn't.
I feel like there are 2 like possibilities. You'd have a son that's estranged, or you'd have a son that was like making 6 figures like really early on in life because he found the work ethic and maybe had like an engineering brain or something. Somehow.
I've told Hailee too. Like I would like if I had a son that wanted to do something and it was a good like business idea, I would invest in it.
According to you, what if he had?
It has to be according.
But what
to
if
me.
he wanted to get a theater degree just like your daughter?
Oh, what if you had a son that followed Hailee's path?
Yeah,
no.
They were twins.
Yeah, he would have had a fallback plan.
Wait a minute. Okay.
So
wait, hypothetically, you have a set of twins, Hailee and her brother.
Yes.
And they both want, Hailee and Bailee.
Yes.
And they both want a theater degree.
Yes.
Hailee gets one.
Yes.
What do you do with Bailee?
You know what? Actually, I'd probably, if Bailee was good.
If Bailee was good, so he has to earn your money.
Absolutely. If Bailee was good, I probably would invest more in him.
How would you spell Bailee?
It's easier for guys to get roles in theater because there's so few of them that are as good as it is for women. It's much harder for women. Hailee has a much harder path than a guy.
But what if he doesn't really have as strong of a work ethic as you think he should have?
He's getting like get a science degree or something.
I was going to say if you could hand choose like a path for your son, like right now you're like, let's say you have a 24-year-old son.
Bailee.
Ideally in your head, where would Bailee be and what would he be doing?
He would be graduated from college. He would have gotten a degree.
And he paid his own way.
In IT, yes, exactly.
Paid his own way.
IT is
probably IT or technology.
Had a full-time job through college.
He would have done an internship towards the end, and he would be working with that company now.
Oh,
maybe like Google or something.
Yeah, something.
But what if they treated him wrong and he was like, listen, I'm going to burn this bridge to the ground?
I'm like, put up with it, son, and quit your whining, all right? Your daughter is moving back home tomorrow. I don't need this stress. Your theater sister is moving back home, so you go make your money.
But Dad, you did it it when you were my age. I could do it too.
Now, yeah, you
or
better
if you
do it.
if you had a successful son and your daughter, came to you and was like, "Hey, Dad, can I get some money?" Be like, ask your brother.
No, yeah, she's still my girl.
No, I know.
You would have played favorites.
I would have, yeah. Every parent has favorites. They just don't admit it. They have kids.
I'm the favorite.
Of course you are, by default.
That was easy.
Had you had another kid, maybe it's a different story.
Nah.
Danny Ray has little Danny Dunn and or Donnie Ray Jr.
Donnie
like
Ray.
it's a whole different ball
Donnie
game.
Ray. I got a brother named
Donnie Ray.
We got
Danny
Betty
Ray.
Lou and Donnie Ray.
It could happen. What was the name of that guy in Rascal Flats?
What was
Don
his
John, Ron John,
Yeah,
Johnny
like
Dunn.
that.
Look up Rascal Flats members. It's not Gary LaVox. It's Jimmy Ray Dunn, I think it is, or something like that.
I think you're right. Yeah, Jimmy Ray Dunn.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Jim Riley?
No. I think it's Jimmy Ray Dunn or something like that.
Would it be in just their members? Let's see. Gary, Joe Don Rooney?
Joe Don.
Joe Don.
Joe Don, yeah.
And then there's Jay DeMarcus.
No, it's Joe Don.
Joe Don.
Yeah, Joe Don. Hey, Joe Don.
Joe Don.
I know, it's so funny. It's so
like
Southern. But yeah, I think parents do have favorites. You can never tell your kids that, but you'll have that kid that you connect with or you click with more so, because they're more like you or what have you, or you think they have better earning potential.
Do you think there's a possibility that if you had had another child, that child could have been a favorite over Hailee?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know.
Because what would they have to do to make themselves the favorite over her?
Be a boy. No, I'm just kidding. Look at Betty's face.
Wow.
No, I was scared to have a daughter. Like when we found out we were having a little girl, I'm like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what to do. A guy, I figured, okay, I could raise a guy pretty much. I understand.
You will always understand
you get it.
A boy's brain.
Yeah, exactly. But a little girl. But then she got here, oh my goodness, it tore my world up. To the point where I'm literally, I was talking to her when we went and saw her last week, and I'm like, look, if you wanted to come back to Tennessee and you want to do something creative, I get that. If you want to go out on a tour and work on a tour, maybe start doing merch with somebody or something like that and get your foot in the door, I'm more than happy to help you with that. And I get it, because if you're coming here, then you could actually move home and live at home, because I wouldn't want you to have an apartment if you're gone 9 months out of the year. That makes zero sense. I'd want you to save your money. And so but a son, I'd be like, how's it going? You get a job yet? Or
what if she's like, Daddy, I found an artist that I want to work with.
Yeah.
It's an independent artist, so they can't pay me.
Oh,
but I'm definitely gonna but I'm gonna do it. So I need some money, please.
Yeah, no, I can't do that one.
Okay.
But I did tell her though.
Daddy.
I know I couldn't. No, she still has to do some stuff. But no,
just a little bit.
I did
just
tell
to
her.
say that she loves him, and then that's it.
Yeah, that's the stuff. Just include me in your life. Thank you. No, I did tell her that if she had a business plan, say she wanted to do okay, I want to start a theater school. All right, that's what your degree was in. That's what you know. I would look at it and we would go through it financially okay, how are you going to do this? You need to A, sell me on it, and B, what's it going to take financially to actually make money, and how would we do this? And do a full business plan like that. I would invest in that, because I've always told her, I said, if you have something you want to accomplish and it's viable business, it's not a handout. I will invest in that, and you'll pay me back, because I want you to run it like a business until she goes broke, and then I lose all my money, and then I can't retire, and then I'm just bitter and just.
You're gonna be that old man at Walmart that's working at 90, and you're like,
the
why
angry
are you
greeter.
My daughter lives at home.
His high blood he's still got high blood pressure, but for some reason isn't in bad health.
Speaking of not in bad health, I went to the physical therapy yesterday.
The greatest line from yesterday that was off air was Wally saying out loud, "Guys, I'm going to therapy today."
Yeah. What?
And Betty what do you mean? You going to do something manly? Or you going to do something? Physical therapy.
Yeah, physical therapy.
And it went okay.
It did. The girl was really great. And they go to a lot of school. I ask her questions the whole time. I interviewed her.
Of course you do.
Yeah, well, I like to if somebody's massaging
but you need to
your
relax.
neck,
But you need to relax too.
Yeah.
and let the muscles do what they need to do.
This is really great, though. This is really great. So I don't know how new she is.
Did you hear
or not.
anything I
did, roughly. I'm not sure how new she was or not, but she was really good at it, and I could tell she was precise. Asked me a million questions. Everything's going great. And so she goes, okay, you have such limited range in your neck that concerns me. Like, I want to like examine your neck. And so she has me lay down on this table, and she's like, okay, just lean your head back into my hands, and she's pushing on parts of my neck. And she's like, okay, where do you feel this? I'm like, well, I feel that in the front of my head, actually. And she's like, okay, that's normal, because this is why you say your neck hurts. This is why you're getting headaches, because of this muscle here. And so when I push on different parts, it will have different effects. And so she's going, and I said, hey, is it concerning at all that I can't feel my right leg? And she goes, wait, what? I go,
you do this to everybody.
I go, I can't feel my right leg. It's numb. She goes, are you serious right now? And and she was so intent, and I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, she goes, I was gonna have to send you to the hospital.
Oh my god.
She was great.
Yeah, she's doing something because working with the neck is pretty like dangerous. Obviously, if you don't know what you're doing. But well done.
It was so funny though. Wait, what?
Hilarious.
Fun at physical therapy.
Yeah,
but physical therapy is expensive. Like, we don't like our plan. We have to pay our deductible first, and so I have like a $3,500 deductible, and it's so great. It's amazing how that math worked out. They're like, okay, now you have 35 times that you can go to therapy via your insurance, and it's $100 each. I'm like, oh, my entire deductible. Weird.
Wow.
How did that ever work out?
Boy, am I blessed.
Yeah, so surprised. And then then when we get done with the first thing, she's like, all right, I think it would be best if you come in twice a week. And I'm like, yeah, I'm probably not going to do that.
That's why dentists are fantastic, because they're like, just come here like twice
a year.
Yeah. If they were like, hey, you need to come get your teeth like super professionally cleaned every month, I wouldn't.
Because chiropractors do the same thing. They're like, I was at this event thing, and they're like, oh, here, come and you'll get a free evaluation if you come to us. And so I went back to talk to them, because I'd been thinking about it. And they're like, yeah, so we'll, give you the free evaluation. We won't adjust you then. We'll figure out what the plan is. And then if, you need like 30 or 40 visits. And I was like, nope. Already I see the writing on the wall here. Nope. And so I'm like, they're going to give me exercises at physical therapy, and I'll do them, but I'm like, I'm going once a week for a minute, and if I don't see a lot of like change, then I'm like, I'll stop and just deal with it.
Does your witch doctor try and get you in as often as possible? Like, just like when you're there, does she say, okay, well, let's get you set up for the next time, or is it all based on your whim?
It's based on my whim. But she asks me ahead of time, how often do you think we need to see each other?
You're like, you're the doctor. You should tell me. Like, kind of, I had a weird thing because my shoulder's injured. And so she was doing this thing where she was like, okay, I'm going to push against your arms. And you tried to resist me. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then she took and she lit a candle then put a rubber duck on the screen.
That's not what my doctor does.
Sprinkled me with oil. Yes. And then it was like, okay, now as I push against you,
oh my gosh.
Tell me what your ear feels.
Tell me what language you hear when I press this left toe.
Can you feel colors? That's so good.
So funny.
It is actually funny because it's like it's not so far off from what Betty's actually done.
Fairly close.
Minus the rubber duck. Minus the rubber duck.
It is not that at all. Yes, she might ask you to stick your finger in your ear.
Yes.
Yes, she might put vials of liquid on your stomach and ask you to lift your leg and see if you can or can't resist her pressure.
She gave me a bowl of words like categories.
I'm fine. Look at me. I'm fine. I'm doing great.
So adjusted. So well adjusted. All right. You know what? Do you have any birthdays?
I do.
We have a meeting we got to get to.
Susan wants to wish her sister Angeline a happy birthday. Angeline is a beautiful, intelligent, and caring sister. We always hear your voices around the house because she loves listening to the Wally Show. Happy birthday, Angeline. Question. What's one small thing in life you get overly excited for? A small thing in life. I can tell you what mine is. There are many things, but
sweet tea.
Yeah.
Sweet tea, yes.
I hate those.
So
I
lame.
love when I see rainy days coming like on the weather app and it's like, okay, Thursday we've got a 73% chance. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I look forward to it. I love rainy days.
I get excited, and this isn't a little thing, but like I get excited when I get to see my daughter because I don't get to see her much. And so like
That's definitely not a little thing.
It's not a little thing. But like when I saw her this weekend, it was so great. And then I told her, I said, yeah, I'm probably not going to see you till Thanksgiving. And she was like, oh my gosh. And she was like sad. She's like, no, I don't want to go that long. And I'm like, well, would you want me just to send my wallet down here? Would you like that?
That'll
Even
make it better.
That'll get me through. That'll get me through. I'm trying to think of like little things that I get excited for.
You get excited over like certain foods.
Yeah. There's certain foods.
Which, I mean, we all do.
Yeah, when technology doesn't host me,
there you
like
go.
I get really
That's
excited
true.
when something works right. When I got my AirTag figured out the other day, I got a new AirTag and I couldn't get it to work, and I ignored Betty's tutelage, and I shouldn't have, and then I listened to somebody else, and that drives her nuts when I do that.
You get excited when you get a text message.
I do, especially if it's something good.
Well, you think any text message is good.
Yeah.
It is kind of fun
Somebody
to
thinks
wake
I'm
up.
important.
It's fun to wake up to a text.
To a good text.
A good text.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, what's going to happen today? What are we doing today, Lord? This is great.
Lord.
Gavin?
I think for me, it's whenever I get to drive in the morning, but it's between 7 and 9 a.m. where there's
Not
like
when you
sun coming up and you're just kind of like, you're kind of met by God's grace instead of driving in to the darkness.
Felt good today, though. It was a little brighter today.
was.
Like
It's nice.
I was
Was
like,
it?
yeah. As I pulled in, I was like, oh, this
Summer's a
feels pretty good.
little bit here.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think that's gonna have to do it for our
And
Aftercast.
as always,
Thanks for being a potty.
potty.
Potty.